A question, a contribution, a thought, a comment, observation. 0244844488. Samuel Abu Jinapor is our guest. In the meantime, he says, please wish Brianna Nana Ifua Hayford a happy birthday to you, Brianna Nana Ifua Hayford from Mr. and Mrs. Hayford of the Lodge Taverns and Pokua 101. Hey Hayford, good morning. How be you? Bomba Day. And then happy birthday to you, Ani Osabute.
Peace FM.
Ebium.
Peace FM.
Yenya yenum.
Peace FM 104.3. Who to me take?
Abu Mache.
Yenya Chama General.
Mihu Mache Boko dear.
Nyankopo adaro my way. The chair with TFOs.
Yeah, Josepa, Canena, anyone and I'm Hasisi, Adaji Crane.
Oh, Peace FM day. Send me by a macatro say, aha, be alumni.
Proper pa.
And I'm a sasso, me baha, just say, my bami amidi.
No credit.
Because if it is in Akonia Bani Dibibrio Hapa.
Hey, I'm on Fonkayo.
Oh, me de Mekai.
Ebisu nim.
Oh, Mekai. Edibuto Hache.
But Missy, I am a de. Say Wakwa, ya no aba.
Excellent.
Okwa, ya no aba.
Sana say,
Sana unia donate here. Now, Abu Anopei, me who say, Daily Graphic, and several papers. You see, promoting small-scale mining. Gold processing machines unveiled. Devices can recover 90% gold. Omanpenyin anado dankwa kufado mfoni wa ha mfoni no bi with deputy Mreku Duka wo hom Barbara Tinjesi our board chair Minerals Commission ewa ha. Abu we start with dia.
Yo chairman me das.
Yes.
Ne sema obisa na hu hia pa wo enim efa agudi a yetu small scale mining any ho sensema ewoye mine mu yi say yensu say ye kwaye sebi say mine bibri na drum pempenso a say yetu anamo na ye krakra small scale mining industry okọ mia bibri amanone emai bibri mu a small scale mining no an avenue for job creation and nipa efaso ediye juma enyiska wom edebo omobra. Examples are Canada, Australia, United States itself. But African countries like Ghana, Burkina Faso, South Africa mo feno zamazama haye feno galamsey akobase afi bebre atwemu no ye mfa nhyehyɛ papa antoto ho nti small scale mining no atete apansan ama ene obi akobo galamsey ana obi akobo small scale mining na kyese nsu seye ne ye kwai seye na omampanyi akufuado ahye sey ye nhwe kwan ye befa so a ye be krakra small scale mining ejuma no na ejuma na ye di so ejuma ye di no ye de fapemienu ana edi juma no ne di kan law enforcement ana ne tosumienu reformation reforms, putting in place reforms. Law enforcement ni operation halt ne decommission of excavators, river bodies, ne forest reserves they are declared as red zones. Ni nyina wo honom no ye law enforcement. But whilst you are engaged in law enforcement, it is absolutely important say sector na nkasa so no odi reforms eba. Abakosem no kire me literature ne kire me say in fact omampanyi kofo apenso ana ultimate small scale miners be call China or so ekomo omo training na no ebeboa bibiri efa kwan a ye fa so ane nke de krakra small scale mining industry no na bibiri no ato sima nti ene enra ana omampanyi akufuado yetimi boaboa ho kope mercury-free gold catches, mercury-free gold equipment. Now, mercury-free gold catches, no, and no saying 100 of them, and no say small scale miner behind him say ukutu e bobana e bruni fe no all no. E say ope kwanya obe faso edi gold no efrim. Okay, so when you engage in the mining, you excavate. Utubobana, a bobano in itself is not valuable, but you then have to go through a process of extracting the gold from the ore. Okay.
Into two abubana was said ni baby and your whole akopim raubenya.
Na kwanya omo fa so a omo di yi agudie ni free eboba nim no chairman. Eno na ede yi ye man no say ye kwaye ne ye nsase bebre nam say ansa na gold catches beba no normally about almost, if I'm not exactly, 80% of small scale miners, they use two processes. One is mercury, and the second one is washing. So small scale mining, no utu abobana, you definitely must have a process of washing the ore, and you must have a mechanism, a chemical, odebe breaki abobano. Na wetin yi gold na frame na eno na kofa nsu say e bai
enti mercury no de ye aboba no ene na ekupie nsu no no eno ne washing na omoye no
sa pepepe eno so na e ba ne say small scale mine na bia pese ne concession ben nsu and am say concession ben nsu a utu aboba na e be den na wenye nsu di ahohoro aboba na de mercury na gum na mercury na kogu nsu nim. And of course the adverse effects, negative effects of mercury. I mean, mercury causes cancer, immune system breakdown, disabilities, and on top of it, mercury causes asima. It take you several years and sakrana, wura nase in nuya nase ubet media year full. So the use of mercury in small scale mining there, so many be there can't be. Ghana is a party state, a signatory to the Minamata Convention. Now, Minamata Convention was promulgated in 2013.
Okay.
In a town called Minamata in Japan. Now, Sakruno Mercury say Kruna United Nations the convention ibano. Omo say yanko sign a convention or Minamata honum. In August 2017, Ghana signed to the Minamata Convention. And the Minamata Convention is an international convention. I say state parties, as if you pekwanya ebe faswa, you be say over a period of time, you be the use of mercury in small scale and artisanal mining. Until equipment here, they are be the kind mercury nim. Ube to media ye gold. Every abobanima bra onfa chemical bia enka ho na etosumienu ensuo so a yede eyesa adwumadie no ensuo a recyclable, so you can recycle it, and therefore you don't need to wash your gold ore in a river body or on a stream or pollute any river body. Gold mercury free gold processing equipment here there by. And no more in Suona, a crowd be gum and ebe kosusa for several
washings.
So, in actual fact, what it will do is that mercury will be eliminated out of small scale mining. The pollution of the river bodies of our country will also, hopefully, will be eliminated. And thirdly, and for me, most importantly, and they say, system now small scale highness e use ni mercury ne river pra ne river brim mo de hohoro mo gold ne. The recovery rate is 40%, so that say small scale mine bia kotu gold ore no na say or the yi kwan o mo fa so de eyi agudie no ne eyi a agudie a obenya free mu ne 40% pay. Then so mercury free gold processing equipment here, the recovery rate is 90%. What it will mean is that concessions here, they be more mono, or more gold out of the concessions than they would have if they had used mercury to extract the gold, and that obviously will mean that you be preserve and say yes, be two waha no more because gold omunya no endorse. Finally, Chairman, the contribution of the small-scale mining sector to Ghana's gold output is 40%. So I have said it and I want to repeat it. Say, Akufo-Addo are buying is not against small-scale mining. What we are against is irresponsible small-scale mining, which degrades our lands, environment, and river bodies. That is what the government is against. And she share the bay, share the bar, now abe crack small-scale mining, no. Cause if you dear bay, I just say mining district bia in Ghana benya bako. Now mining district bia where maimuno ebenya one responsible community mining scheme. Now yetimi de no afa de no aye ekwenya ye befa so a ebe boa ma amanfo enye njuma wo empotemu ho mranche bitimi aye agudi adwuma ebi ba na ense yensase ense yensu. So that is the background and that is the plan.
Now small scale miners no almost saying how have they received this idea almost some year idea on the bay juma
omani jihupa be nam say chese ye pilot answer.
Okay.
The kakra de buy ni be the buko western region, the buko Ashanti, the buko eastern, in fact the buko Savannah Kra, several other places. Now mo dia ye juma who say we no boa bebre na we na e bitimi aso normal ensem fatal small scale mining industry ni ma ano amaye and you manage ho. And in fact as we move forward the intention is that in the course of this year we will organize another 200 mercury free gold processing there is an arrangement between the Minerals Commission, a dealer, and a bank or so. Sebi say the ma mono mo die adwuma ombetua kakra kakra. E ka na ewom no so. Enti sebi aban entimi enkasa aban fani nyina. But there is a whole arrangement, there's a whole package. Omo put it together.
I see. Interestingly, senior kind or say on there's an arrangement. Now, some arrangement if he mercury free equipment if he find ever.
Well, I have to check, but I think it's from either China or somewhere. I'm not too sure.
Okay, as long as some year na idea on way I dream on there. Quickly, not just say the fight, the Galamsey fight, no still are you go so.
You go so the day in Chama. You see the Galamsey fight one. Mestre na machichi makaka crown. Near Mestre Ghana for any wotie food and he say. We are see baby chairman. You can check it out. But beer extractive industry will be a day a dajuni neba oko Nigeria petrochemical industry Delta State in fact in some cases crowd wars and so on and so forth. South Africa, like I said, small scale mining, illegal small scale is a major problem on their hands. The counterpart or Guinea, the bauxite in Guinea, the Guinean minister for mines, one of the biggest problems the Guinean government are having to deal with is illegal mining and so on and so forth. And so Ghana is not an exception. Now, why is it so, Chairman? The NTI say, you can say gold, a good year. Gold is money. And so, amount for, some communities in the enclaves where we have gold in our country. There are branch here, 2 or 3 people, that I'm saying, papa, every week we are 100,000 this bit me bomb it's but then you then go and say, you go and say, alternative
livelihood.
So I've just got the information. Apparently the equipments are German technology but assembled in South Africa. Okay.
Oh, German technology, but technology assembled in South Africa. Okay. And they are gold catchers, no. And now the alternative life will see or may Juma maybe 500 cedis. It becomes unattractive. But the most important thing, any near making, I see a year normal minu. Normal minu, I see a year no. Now, near I see a DNC suited to crane reformation. And I'm saying, maybe a minister, maybe some Minerals Commission for Obi free, my constituency at Chibunyo. No, so person yeah small scale mining. License a dear small scale mining. No, quite ben or be fast one. Nensa
ebeka bi mboya minya ne say nipa no say obey application one cry hanom na wako process obeko tamale ofri tamale our bank cry wako process through the Minerals Commission until a recommendation is brought to the desk of the minister. Now minister responds for mines no assign it and sana a nipano etimi aye a juma in a small scale mining industry. That in itself is a disincentive. I mean, you are telling people to be engaged in legal small scale mining, and yet the process of acquiring a small scale mining license from Takwa, the man from Takwa has to travel all the way to Accra to Minerals Commission office, go through one office after the other, and have his application brought to the desk of the minister to sign it before the man can be said to be a legal small-scale miner. So I said to them that, look, from the very beginning, the architecture or the system we have put in place, in itself is going to promote illegality.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Minerals Commission for a decentralized permitting system. A name, can say, nipa beti mako districts, ako J permits. A can who be omako online. People can apply for permits online from the comfort of their homes. So the point I'm making essentially is apart from decommissioning excavators, people say burning of excavators, and I say Operation Halt, Operation Vanguard. There is an Jumedie bisu or where say ye dear and no mema dream which me say no who cry here to essay enforcement, and no reforms I see a deba. Now, omo muso omo small scale mining, you create a conducive environment. No, omo businesses and their ventures can thrive, so that it becomes attractive for people to be involved in legitimate, legal small scale mining. And as a matter of fact, I know that people have gone into small scale mining businesses and made it. Oma employ nipa, oma for nipa juma, oma mine kama, oko omo honoma, omo tu amanano, omo kataso, omo say due nua, omo ye concurrent reclamation and revegetation. Enite kama. So this is where we are headed, and it will not take a day, of course, but we will not also relent.
It will not take a day, but we will not relent. Talking about relent, Mr. Jinapor, Achimota Forest in Komunakosi saying.
Achimota Forest, me the dikai, me say ye di hun komo bebre. Ghana for so be dodoona achire omagin na ye dikai adwenkyere a manfo bebre de ebaye no. Ni nyina ye ne kwan so. Ana ni nyina so eye ne ye di enti. Ana me de me hu no. Enam say ya kan pray bebre. Eba yensa ase ene nyame abode a ye fe natural resources a body nyankopon de a chair miner ye mine titru ano ye ka eman a ka asase ye ka ye nua ye ka ye gudie ye ka ye minerals enu ntina ye nananom kon akon ekoji asase ne ho sense meni ntino se aban tu anamo anase anamo bi baso na se amanfo ne amanfo ewa adwenkyere a ne kwan so ne dikan ne tosumienu chairman.
Yes.
Inyina be kai se mede krata me kuchi krata de betuja 10-page document 49 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Echire mu pefe kwan ye kofa so a Achimota Forest asemi eba ya na se anamo aban etuye nyame ncha de kra ma me mre wa ha almost an hour.
Yeah.
E ma me nya kwan chechire mu kama ne etoso me ensa na nchechire mu nyina kire se efri omampanyi kofo apresso eku si omampanyi mills apresso ebeduru omampanyi jomama apresso edebeduru omampanyi akufado apresso jumadie bebre akoso fa Achimota Forest any families ensemi na yedi nyina atudwa EI 144 and EI a degazetted portions of the forest as no longer a forest reserve.
Okay.
In the EI 144 paragraph 3 also gives the minister checks and balance and a stopgap to be able to regulate the development, whatever development may take place in that enclave. Now, EI 154 so affirms that the remaining portions of the forest will continue to be a forest reserve. Mesasu chire mu say ye won hihye ye pese ye transforming sa miano into something like Hyde Park of London or Central Park of New York. I be due nua bibiri ho a me no kase kura no ye diske bibiri eguma ye koso a ye due nua wa Chimota Forest. Na if you ada kura be green Ghana Day me ne High Commissioner of the United Kingdom, any British citizens and Ghanaian citizens ye ba be ko Chimota Forest akudua nua to commemorate the platinum jubilee of Her Majesty the Queen. Tini nyina ento nchen. Na ba bia ye wei me ministry ene me ankasa ye guso pensemu hwe free mre ni nyina be dru ne process ye fa mu e be dru san pempensuei ekreja ye say ye di gazette PS1 to EI 144 no ye hwe mu biem ye say ye hwe mu na mre pamu no me gidi say ye bema Ghana for enya asutri na ne hia kra me pese me team siye e ma Ghana for ne say na no me kafiri makoma mu say omampanyi Akufo-Addo ene me am ye ne so afo kwan ye be fa so bia de be bo Ghana for japade ho ban ye be bo ho ban nam say ye kan sase ne natural resources PS1 to Article 257 of the Constitution. It remains the property of the Ghanaian people. The president is just a trustee. The president holds those properties in trust for the good people of Ghana. And so the management and the dealings in the lands and natural resources of any country, and Ghana in particular, must be done properly. Here, lawyer Fobeka say the duty we hold is a fiduciary duty. It must be one with fidelity. It must be one totally above board. The Ghana for Bia or no wajin should be any yemshini biano and kana come to yem. Yebe koso aye juma kama. Achimota Forest inclusive. Ama ye di pepe peri ye aye juma ye baby is here to be ye the better.
Abuka Brofubi Osifa fiduciary totally above board. But Oshe and Komwa Abba over the last so many years. And it teaching Abba Nansenya. Ghana for be bring Nisa Gidino. Say abaya abako abaya wasu say fiduciary and totally above boardroom. Esane say obetini say list bi aba much chance say na mamoho na ya bobo baby rich Wesley gone Hwan Eastleigh gone. If you Chimota Forest then aba enti gidie ne was say mukura ade num emayen e wadwen pamu ne kwampa so no. Eswate and I say ni hokra and no so
you chairman udika that's it. Na ne woman say GDA wo ye amanyofo mu ene GDA wo ye ayebu eman na sa ye yebu man no asma make so de sebi me nka say aban we nko anasa aban we sebi free independence particularly during the fourth Republican dispensation, the question of a mano GDA war, yaya boom my and yaya manyofono, and no a subject. I'm just say it's a bigger subject, which I believe can be examined. But you are right that the confidence that the population have in the ruling class or the political class is waned and is waned for multiple reasons, which I'm not too sure we can interrogate all of them here. But be that as it may, and then where we are, me imagine me de ebane say, yeah, Chimota Forest, I can't want some kama, ne bi muso achire o madwea ni nyina ne kwan so. Saa so na say na okay public lands.
Yeah.
Chairman, public lands. You can want some and also ade o na public lands dey can ya na ebinimu mi hu say and na me no ka say.
Yeah.
Me call parliament. Na me call parliament ni. Me kwako ma muae bibre near parliament for friend no questions time.
Okay.
Members of parliament be some questions over the management of public lands in Ghana. Na ne woman say obehwe no na member of parliament be or majority side ne wa bisa question ba ko kra wa ha wa bisa question say be my all transactions relating to public lands since 2009 to 2017. Now 2009 to 2017 no chairman no kire say President Mills ne President Mahama Abreso Assembly kana me boa.
Yeah.
Okay. Na ube nyo obisu from minority side no obisa say be my all transactions relating to public lands from 2001 to 2009 and from 2017 to date. Na no kire say no pay transactions of public lands under President Kufuor and President Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
In all modesty and with the greatest of respect, I think it is a wrong way of looking at the management of the public lands of our country. And we cannot attempt to interrogate the management of the public lands of our country from a parochial partisan point of view. It will not work. So that somebody comes out with a list. Who list be? Say hostel, maybe a Ministry of Foreign Affairs one name.
Yeah.
List ting. Near board we dean Kufuor minister we minister we. Uko fifi mu na ubisa eho abakosema. Kyerɛ sɛ saa nsase no koraa yɛka ho asɛm no. Nipa yɛka ho asɛm koraa mo anya saa nsase no. And also there was a policy rationale and a policy basis for those decisions under President Kufuor. And yet people will put it out and make it look as though President Kufuor's government just distributed lands amongst his ministers. It is not correct. Then, now we another list. President Akufo-Addo, Mreso, yes, the public lands, now and also no another man. And then you hear other people. Modi, but you hear other people say, the whole of West Legon, the whole of North Legon, Oko Labone Enclave Bia, NDC for former ministers from Kwane Honum, Sa public lands near Chema NDC for Kwan. Chairman, I want to beg to differ. We cannot approach the management of our public lands in that manner. Then there's a third issue, the bigger issue, which is ahemfo see emfa omunsa asen sa ma omu ye gin sa ase no ne ani ase de beye no ya mfa anye yensa mfa ma omu ye se ye gin sa ase no compensation na nke se etua ye ntua nti emfa sa ase no ensa mfa ma omu na eno so eye ade a e de kasa bebreba. I want to tell you something. Since I was given the privilege of becoming a minister for lands, I have held working meetings with all the 16 regional houses of chiefs in Ghana. All of them.
All the houses of chiefs?
All the houses of chiefs. From Upper East to Upper West, all the way down here. Chairman, there is not a single regional house of chiefs Amakwa. The number one issue hasn't been about the release of public lands to the chiefs. In fact, me more region Bakudi. Region Bako me call region. President of the House of Judiciary me say regional coordinating council, maybe a regional coordinating council in your masasi. Now, Sebi, look, I make this point all the time, and I mean I have no difficulty coming to that conclusion. People talk about Galamsey mining. My minister 1.5 years. The biggest issue for me on my table and the biggest headache I have is lands. Yes, when I walk into a social event, out of 10 people who speak to me about my ministry, 8 or 9 will be talking to me about lands. So, then, and of course, the chiefs, we have to listen to the chiefs. Because you see, Ghana's land is unique. The history behind our land is very unique. In Ghana, we are one of just about the only country in Africa where the British Crown, when they attempted to appropriate Ghanaian lands.
So your minister on country be one.
Sorry. Na English for 1876. Omo de mrabi by a friend Crown Lands Bill of 1876. Anom pope say omoye kase Ghana assassin a crown lands.
British for
yeah, they were going to vest all the land. Mensa Saba, through the Aborigines Right Protection Society and the chiefs of Ghana, stood up. No man penny. In Ghana hano, your principle be in land law ekase. There's nothing like ownerless land in Ghana.
Asasibia you be there.
Asasibia you be there. Na asasino so Ghana hano. And nam ye nananom ye 1876 in Sinu Chairman. Asasi e kadie. E ahemfo de. Ahemfo. And I say when you go to the north, some parts of the north Tindanis, chiefs, and then when you come to places like Accra, then families, Ebusia for ebebem. Enti aban nsase aban kure nyina titiri no. Eye nsase aban gifli ahemfo. Either through compulsory acquisition or dominion or some kind of arrangement. That is a fact. I mean, the experts should interrogate it. I'm not making it up. This is the history. I'm not by that suggesting, say, public lands, but then it tells you that our situation is a bit more complicated, which is why, Chairman, all the political agitations of East Africa are based on land. Yep. Kenya, all the independent struggle,
Tanzania,
Zimbabwe, Kenyatta, everything revolved. Zimbabwe is another issue, which is why the Zimbabwean government had all the land, because the lands there, what was attempted here in Ghana, succeeded in East Africa, which is why the lands in Zimbabwe, for example, are vested in the crown, and became vested in the state. Yes. So the state didn't need to be compulsorily acquiring land and paying compensations and so on and so forth. We have a unique situation. Look, when you go to Asanteman, for example, 90% of all lands in Asante are two lands. 90% of all lands in Asante are vested in the golden stool. There's no concept like family lands in Asante. And public lands in Asante is just 10%. So, and the meme can say, yaton asasiama way, yes, I don't mind, and a lot of it, with the greatest of respect, bibrina propaganda, and no, I say, yet, Juma the ding, where friend social media say, a dream maybe I am, yes, say, and ye be an so we are no, so, sebi predators, a nipa, sebi, or more frail say, say, na, near Koha, a crown, say, and we are, it's office. Na my colleague be Baminche, senior colleague in the minister Baminche. Minister, now then I'm 638 acres of land. Ama one Charles Ohusu. I wanna me bo who say I say me we have to respond because he said Minister Crab GD say the 638 acres are Charles Ohusu. But what are the facts? In a lease. Statement a lease ana de omu lease asasema Charles Ohusu adenta na ebi ni mo kofa lease no ye twa first page ni say ana last page no the first page no ye recitals no so 638 acres no ana last page no ye signature no which is where Charles Ohusu's name is, his picture is, and the stamp ana ne won finfini de ye to nchen. Until the first page, and the last page, ya boom near their social media say, Munsho, Minister Jinapor say, Achimota Forest, there are no records at Lands Commission, say Achimota Forest. 638 acres of Achimota Forest land, they are much as also. But you also know the issues around Charles in this animal. So, Eddie Kaino, journalists be the same. Now, me say, but look at the reciter. The reciter says Adenta. So, why are you talking about Achimota Forest? Oh, sorry, man, can you? Then, when the matter came up again, you find that in every lease document, you have what we call the recitals, which is the whereases, the background. So, whereas, and our recitals, and actually the root of title of this particular land, which is going to be portions of which is being leased to Charles Ohusu, and it is that reciter, paragraph 1 of that reciter, which says that the 638 acres of land acquired in Adenta. So that is larger parcel of land which is acquired in Adenta. And guess what, Chairman? Lease now, the land that is being leased to this Charles Owusu gentleman in Adenta is 0.22 of an acre, a quarter of an acre.
That's about 2 plots.
A plot and a half or something. Yeah, if I buy a plot and a half, really.
Into the
maximum 2 plots. Yes, 0.22. But we still have to deal with it. But moving forward, what is the way forward? We, a catch Lands Commission for say, yenye public forum and bring all the stakeholders. Now you have it one major discussion, consultations, engagement in yin common effort the public lands of Ghana and how they should be managed. And by the grace of God, I intend say anybody who matters in land administration, the houses of chiefs, various experts, political parties, all of us. Chairman, if the consensus is that all public lands no public land should be leased out anymore or should be released to any chief or we should deal with the public lands in a particular manner, that will be the consensus.
I think in over 400 acres at Yama Utunfo. Talking about public lands, there's been stories about Utunfo there. Me who say Rashid Pelpo ma shebejeni adi atuja say enye kwampaso na mufa is wrong, it's blah blah blah. When are you minister? What's the story?
Chama de dikan Utunfo asante hene ene asante mai insa asema sebi sebio abeye amanyosem a ye twe asem no aboso a ene abeye subject matter of front pages 2-4 say no mesre akase me di hu ya okakrapa aha me kakrapa nam say menyini say bibia na ese adiye amanyosem de kansem ne sabi egu nipa hu fi na akoyese me tietie bi mu kra chese Otumfo de na ho den na agi asase Akufo-Addo de asase am Otumfo enye ne kwan so it's really unfortunate. Now let me just begin by saying that look, near ya fa asanteman ensase ho no a huge historical injustice and I right part of big historical injustice, and I'll tell you why.
Any historical injustice.
Okay, so in 1943, the then colonial government, through the Kumasi Lands Ordinance 1943, acquired approximately 1,235.76 acres or 500.09 hectares of land in Kumasi. And yes, colonial government.
Okay.
1943 through the Kumasi Lands Ordinance 1943. Now, my mention, Golden Tulip, Regional Coordinating Council, the Nyame Fasa Enclave Kofe Dum, the very center of Kumasi. Colonial government is assassinating.
So the other.
In fact, the story behind it actually was that the fights, the struggles between Asante and the colonial government and the rest, the British wanted an enclave. The Asante establishment. Yes, Mobia Maho. That sort of thing. That was actually the rationale to more like provide a green, a safe zone.
To send them here regional.
Pepepe.
Rage work, I mean.
Omoji Omo compensation.
Omentia
compensation.
Instead by force acquisition.
Yes. Na afidie eko nenima ema answer na yebenya ye fa hodi independence no. Colonial government no sade nsase no ema golden stool. And then 1958, 1959. Again, the behind the scene story is that after the formation of the NLM by and the rest, the belief was that these lands were the lands which was being used, the process of which any day financing opposition politics and so on. That is supposed to be the story. Then again, the lands were acquired by the First Republic government. Now, in all of this, and which is the most important point, compensation was not paid. Compensation.
Entire compensation. Yeah.
Entire compensation. And 2014, Chairman. 2014. Redevelopment or Kanda, redevelopment or Ridge, redevelopment or Cantonment, redevelopment Switchback, and redevelopment at the airport. The Ashanti Regional Lands Commission in 2014 submitted a redevelopment proposal for the redevelopment of what we call Sector 18, which is these lands I've just referred to, the 1943 acquisition land. So in 2014, Regional Lands Commission, say, redevelopment just as we did with cantonments and the rest. They call it infilling, and so on. So they brought that plan forward. And Omoko Asante Menshia Palace
in 2014. Okay.
And discussed this redevelopment plan with him. Now they had to go to the Asante Hene because, strictly speaking, the land is not properly acquired by the state because compensation has not been paid. The matter to do compensation, I know some of your listeners will be raising that issue. A lot of people have called me about it, about a provision in the Constitution who says that the Supreme Court
1993.
Yes, the Supreme Court.
Yes, it's why do compensation
It's not entirely correct, Chairman. It's not entirely correct. I've sought a legal opinion on that. It's not entirely. The matter that went before the court, the issues before the court are fundamentally different from the issues we are dealing with here. But that's another matter. I think I'm going to have an opportunity to deal with it in Parliament today. But let's concentrate on the Otumfuo matter. Then they went to Asante Hene and said to Menshia Palace that, look, we want to engage in this redevelopment. And you say you know you share compensation semi. Now if you compensation from 1943 bedroom ne, not just say sebi you kwakutia compensation. I buy si Kenya ne the bakutia sa compensation enye. After series of negotiations, it was agreed that government of Ghana will retain 50% of the land, and Asanteman and the Golden Stool will retain 50% of these lands. The lands popularly referred to as Sector 18. Chairman, on 11th August 2016, the then Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Ni Osamils, submitted a memorandum to Cabinet, and by this I mean submitted a memorandum to President Mohammed's Cabinet for approval to redesign and redevelop the Sector 18 lands and to return 50% of the land to the Golden Stool. This is 11th August 2016.
Okay.
Cabinet on 1st September 2016 gave approval for the redevelopment of the Kumasi Sector 18 land and the return of 50% of the land to the Golden Stool, subject to extending the redevelopment scheme to other regions. So, on 1st September 2016, the Cabinet of President Mahama gave approval to what we are being criticized for today, that 50% of this Sector 18 land should be given to the Asante.
But Ora Rashid Popo, who was a minister in that regime and also was a high-ranking official in that government, are you saying it's onim way?
Facts are sacrosanct. I was trained as a lawyer, so these are the records, and these are not my records. These are records at the registry of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. These are not my records. The cabinet memorandum is there. The cabinet decision is there. If today President Akufo-Addo's cabinet takes a decision, it's a decision of record. Cabinet is a body of record. Omampeni Akufo-Addo to me mekase decision to take cabinet decision to say this. No making cabinet.
Are we trying to say Asema Benti Mahama ne?
Menkasa akra meba Mahama nyeshi. Mama in some way, and some me make Kenya Mahama. They be America. Mahama President Kufuor nyeshi, President Mills, President Mahama nyeshi. adwuma bi o ma ya ya ba beto a ye gidi say ne kwan so a ya to aso aye ama na wie no means be me gina anka say president mama edi boni ana president mama e bibia nsem fata in fact me bo president mama aba so say cabinet decision o take here na ne kwan so ano no. Look, and I'm saying that's why I'm saying that it's historical injustice, not only in Asanteman, in several parts of the country, and I'll give you a gist of it. Until 1st September 2016, President Mahama's cabinet gave approval for 50% of these lands to be returned to the Asanteman, to be returned to the Golden Stool.
Ntienda mwaye no.
Ntienda yaba yabe toaswa ya Asanteman ensa ka omunsa ase ya omo die. And the nice time see me team so. And to say sebi chinchim aban sa na yaji asase na say yafa kwan boni bi so no omo asase dada asase a Golden Stool kura dada Asanteman kura dada 1943 abrofo de omo pe ebeji free omo nsem na omakwa otumfo call all the way to the Supreme Court over this matter. They fought all the way to the Supreme Court. Now ene ya corrected this wronger. Now I don't think that anybody can quarrel with us about it. And Chairman, very significant. I give you 2 points. I mean, to say, ni nyina ebeboa nkomo na yedi. Enye ne ebi mu kat say Akufo-Addo aban na aba ode eyi Ghana nsase ma ahemfo ede ma amanfo ede ma ebusuafo ni say enye de kure. Chairman, in 2009, and I mean, it's a shame that we have to go through, and a lot. I mean, the more we get pushed, the more a lot will come out. And in 2009, EI 72 of 1974 acquired 225.18 acres of land, and the land was acquired to be used as a site for the Accra Training College. In 2009, President Mills, in his wisdom, and I have no reason or have no basis to question the judgment of President Mills in this matter. No, I want to believe that the president was satisfied that this is the right action that he should take. President Mills, through EI 16 of 2009, released 114.055 acres of these lands to the pre-acquisition owners. What will somebody say about that? In 2004, President Kufuor Accra Nungua Otinshi lands, which was acquired through EI 17 of 1978, measuring 412.60 acres, and it was acquired for the purposes of constructing the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research. Through EI 8 of 2004, President Kufuor returned these lands to the pre-acquisition owners. I have absolutely no justification to question the judgment of President Kufuor by causing the execution of EI 8 of 2004 for these lands to be returned to the pre-acquisition owner. The president, I believe, had justifiable reasons to take the decision that he took. Chairman, in 2012, EI 113 acquired 286.26 acres, and the acquisition was for the construction of a women's training center. EI 17 of 2012, I don't know the month, so it may be under President Mills or President Mahama, released all the lands except 35 acres of those lands to the pre-acquisition owners. I have no reason to question the judgment of the president of the time. So is it also in 2009, Accra Adenta site for West African Secondary School, EI 107 of 1968, acquired 199.72 acres. By EI 15 of 2009, the lands were released to the pre-acquisition owners. And it goes on and on and on. I have so many of these EIs where lands have been released to the pre-acquisition owners. So, in fact, Chairman, the Constitution, the 1982 Constitution, Nipa Bibri before margin Constitution, 1982 Constitution, there's a provision in the 1992 Constitution which divests all lands in northern Ghana. All lands in northern Ghana have been divested by a provision in the 1992 Constitution.
Okay, say divested, that will be in charge of
divested, literally say you have almost vested in the state. Just say, mine,
the mine, or mine,
almost the share or mine, the ni tumi to so ya constitution actually say yemfa ni nyina sama ahemfo sama abusuafo sama tindanafo in 1992 constitution, so there cannot even be an issue of the release of lands which were acquired before the constitution came into being when it comes to Northern Ghana, unless of course the acquisitions which have happened since 1992. So for Northern Ghana, the justice has been done for all of Northern Ghana and across Ghana, Chama. Santiman, Achima Boakwa, Fantimante Muko, Eastern region, Volta region, and of course Greater Accra. the petitions I have on my desk for the release of lands to pre-acquisition owners in Greater Accra, mountainous. And indeed, 2008 manifesto of the National Democratic Congress. There is a promise in that manifesto which said lands will be released to pre-acquisition owners, and that is an injustice for some of these lands to be continue to be held by the state. As I say, let the debate continue, let the public discussion continue. Let's have a national conversation about this. And as I say again, the Babeye public forum, Babeye symposium, Lands Commission is going to organize a big public forum. Let the country take a decision on public lands, and we will be very happy to abide by it. The most important thing is that we manage these lands responsibly and with integrity.
These lands normally I'm sure you know about that. Yes, you really see my family no better so Abu Jinapor wato 10 plots. John Jinapor 15 plots. Jamin Kobo be the meet me and get away with it. But what is it? Yes, one more fetch and that the optics don't look good.
Yeah, well, Sabi say Samboni Tini to be a Dianameboa. Na me baby am a TD, any Omampani Akufado, baby or Tennessee, when you so be for Quine Bonnie so I could talk. Abayasa say and last will be the Nwako share baby situation where situation of conflict of interest. There's no two ways about it. People come to public life through with different attitudes, but the most important thing is that when the evidence is before us, we'll act on it.
Obisi Mimbisa says, so when are you going to divest or divest or release lands in Bono East and Ahafo?
Oh yeah, those are big ticket major issues on the table. And New Lands Act, the New Lands Act of 2020, Act 1036. There's a provision in the New Lands Act that say within the 6 months after the passage of the act, or after the act comes into effect, government should set up a committee to advise the president on lands which should be divested. And as a matter of fact, if a lands commissioner here Juma Kakra on lands commission a committee na ye Juma the Omo report at Bremen. Mesuma sa ye committee and a person mun pension mun no ko Ghana babia ene ahemfo ne amanfo di nkomo na di nkita ho ne ehu kwan ye befa so a ye de be di se Juma no ene kwan ye befa so ne efutu e de ba koma omampanyi ama omampanyi etimetu anamo papa ebebo e man nyina Owura and Honorable Andy Apia Kubi, former Deputy Minister for Railways, I think. Also, you'll be a Odim Diek Sepa or Sassemun. No, Mama na chairman of that committee. I think say NCBA committee need your report beba. Your report ba. Yede futuni ba komo mampanyia ma mampanyi so etu anamo eso tu na megidi say bono is na hafu nyina ebeka ho bi.
I see. Obisi Minkancho says Shama district has the same issue. Large parcels of land was taken by colonial masters for the planting of acacia trees, which would have been used to treat water, the water treatment plant at Inchabang. Now there's electricity to do the treatment. No royalties have been paid. Inchabang would also rise to claim it. Paid Inchabang. Okay, well, we'll look at that issue when it comes on board. But Abu Minimsa Diabakwa Obabe in the next 3 days or so, but Obi say Green Ghana Day, yes, but tell him trees are being cut down around the airport bypass. Okay, so now let's go to June 10. Green Ghana Day, meaning say last year, June 11, Mekai obeye who interview bebre wa ha both on phone near there. We are made in addition 7 million trees planted. Initially, I'm say 5 million. They say we are 7. This year, Obeka a seemingly overambitious target of 20 million trees for June 10. President launching the 1st March into Mubabe. But what is Green Ghana for this year? Are there any agenda? No?
It's very ambitious indeed, Chairman. Me dawase bebre se wama me konya me ba besre Ghana fo nyina ne amanfo mote eman mu ha so mo meboaye na yentimi ndi djumai na sebe na enkoyie kama na am se ni awokan ye no se djumadie ne beyi a na ebegina yensom so obi asombi ansa da djumadie na yi na ne ewo ho ne se Ghana my ye kwaya ne ye war chairman ya hwere dodo e wo my name statistics ne kire say abakosem kire say from 1900 ebedru ne almost 80% of Ghana's forest cover is depleted you know they be na me can say me mo fry te ekurasi ofufuru so no ebedi bronya bia me ma me ya no de eba kuma se beto ebronya ntare mai na me kai pa se ye free akurase ba bia uhu hwe edua bia se me hu se ye ba bedru kuma se ana edru se ye bedru empepeso bia be hu se canopy of trees so much so that car na ye de bakra na so the headlight canopy of trees what you get from Offenso all the way to Kumasi, and then in Jinapor. Chama, me know say timber industry. It's literally collapsed. I don't know if you know that the timber industry is collapsed. It literally doesn't exist. Why? Because multiple reasons, though. But the raw material does not exist. You can't have an industry without raw material. Yeah, but me horny enemy because a timber industry actors in the industry. So, kind of Ghana timber industry that was a major one. Yes, Takrade thrived on the timber industry and
sawmills.
You can't industry without raw material. You can't have a chocolate industry without cocoa beans. It just will not work. And so, baby, I want to say I'm some na I'm two na more. I'm I'm for any break kwan so ya. The jiri say yam minor dachi. Sebi ebe ha dream bebre echirima ne bebre ofa kwaya ye wo ye man mu ha chama ye frɛ bibi sustainable exploitation or harvesting of timber species no where ye harvest na it must be sustainable. So minister ma concessions yenkutwa nnua and then the concessions are being granted in a way that you don't also avert your mind to planting. And you are your mark concessions in a manner that is not sustainable. So try the India and why into the strategy I dream for phobia basse ye be a normal immunity to the kind and they said we will work to stop deforestation. I just say we try in your quite bonus ni bejai enu nyina na akofa bayi yetu a good year you say prospecting reconnaissance and exploration in forest research na yejai mining forest research. These are all the measures to deal with the first issue of stopping deforestation. Then the second one aggressive afforestation and reforestation. I don't know green Ghana and green Ghana ni say afie twemu no we had a target of planting 5 million trees. In the end, we planted 7 million. Now, if we see a 20 million trees. 7 million trees now.
Have you followed up to check?
We have, and the report I've received from the Forestry Commission that 80% of them have survived. But let me be very quick to admit that look, Chairman, lessons be brave or why from last year, and I think it's going to help a great deal. A boy be brave, a few way. Ama inuani be brave, etimi, enyini. and I'm say I feel no, and I'm saying the planning was not as effective as this year, and therefore I feel we are insisting that 10 million of the 20 million seedlings, tree seedlings, will be planted in off reserves compartment, which is that. And you say the Niano Mamma for a dual baby akeke. Yeah, compartment, CSC Sassi, I'm a man for could dual. Then also be a forest reserve if you want. So we can have multiple Achimota forests across the country if you want. So that is what we are doing this year. Secondly, you need corporate Ghana for so dinkita hubibri. I'm a corporate Ghana for a adopted compartment so that, for instance, PCFM bit can say Ebeko Shire Hills. Moma your compartment or honum. Forest Commission for be prepare compartment. Kama. Yebema mu seedlings. Yebe 2 amnani nyina amamu. Yebe lines ni nyina amamu. Now for the PCFM be call on Friday, June 10th. I could do the whole compartment. If you have to recruit people to help so that you can complete the planting, it may be the case. And now, some person will plant it 2 days, 3 days, 4 days to be able to plant the whole compartment. That may also be the case. And when it is all said and done, the arrangement is that we will brand the compartment in the name of PCFM. And actually, you are even a step further to say institution be crap joint ownership of a sort. Say maybe it is say we are in Nuani say Babe harvest and I say economic trees. And our chairman, as you know, one of the biggest lucrative emerging industries in the climate world is what we call carbon trading. Carbon trading. Babe is that the emerging, big money industry which is coming up. So that so person who trade you compartment, on the carbon market. And also no, you to me say no bit my essential. In fact, so my miss alpha all companies, I know that a lot of them have stepped forward already, and there are all kinds of arrangement between, for instance, Talo and the Forestry Commission for carbon trading. And Talo is going to plant so much. I know, for instance, the VRE, the Voter League, on Friday, they are going to plant along the Voter League. I know several state institutions and private institutions who are going to plant. I know, for instance, that the Pentecost Church is committed to plant 1 million seedlings on Friday. The Presbyterian Church is going to plant. I know the charismatic churches are planting. Chief Imam who are going to plant and so on and so forth. But it is not late. Say, say, Forestry Commission, the Ministry of Lands, no yen share near my compartment and then me pacho. Sana me free hano the numbers be tuja. Na Forestry Commission offices so ewo ho omodos omo bi omo poma ewo ho a obi abetimi akọ obi abetimi akọ have it obi abetimi akọ ho ama omo ne omo akọ ye hyehye no enti eno ne baako ana de ka ho biem ene se ye pese schools edua nnua enti na wotwe mi ya no made Deputy Minister Honorable Benito Owusubio, who is actually the chairman of the planning committee of Cape Coast and the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service, I can launch what we call 1 student 1 tree. The say if you are there bay schools what Ghana bebo modern say fear dano. You day at least 1 hour be you bay 1 hour be in the day ama school ni bia be dua edua baako 1 student 1 tree and sana amanfo so Accra Mall enuani bi obo ho no Achimota Mall ebi bi ho no PCFM ha kra ebi wa be si ha assembly se wo my wem nyina mu no ye de enuani bi akosi ho no Forestry Commission offices across the country will have seedlings no me besre obi ani ho so ton mo bia seedlings no ye che no kwa yenton bio peso beton seedling ama obi an me srew maya sonti. And I'm saying yen kasem obi an to seedling no 20 million seedlings have been prepared and the 20 million seedlings are going to be distributed free of charge. Now chairman the can be able to say I feel we ya say ye be the friend economic trees nti nye say ye dua nuane keke ye dua nuana nuane be boa ama ye forest cover no ye increase ebeboa vegetation, ebeboa environment, ebeboa the fight against climate change and so on and so forth. But we are also mindful that we are pumping money into this project, and therefore it must be a source of investment, which is why we have deliberately decided, say, about planting economic trees. So we are planting rosewood, edum, mangoes, pear, mahogany, and several others.
But is here today.
Made a brew and a special present to the Chairman General from the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
And for Chim could you see? We could you see? Wait a minute, Mark would you see? Now the sign at home.
This is it.
Abu Jinapor tree.
This is it.
We could you see?
That's it. No. And we are not so specialized in the idea. And then finally, Chairman, and that one is my pet subject. Chese, me say a few way you bit my and what is that pet subject of mine? Oko capital cities be Chairman across the world, especially the Western world, developed world. You will see that two prominent features makes a capital city or makes a modern city worth a salt. Normally, one, you mostly, almost invariably, will find a river passing through the center of the city. And then, near Tosumienu, who say, Yedua Inuya, and in many cases, one type of Edua on all the principal streets of the city.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And it's so beautiful. And so, for instance, Obefa Makola or Central Business District, all the way to, say, Oyarefa. Okay. That ceremonial street, I don't know the name of the street. Is it Presidential Street or what? Or Liberation Street?
Ceremonial.
Yeah, Ceremonial Street. That street, for one type of tree, all the way.
But I went to be where Yaba said you train near airport bypass.
Airport bypass.
Open the message by say airport bypass. You train near Bio. Maybe we'll have to check that as well.
We'll check. Me small little girl, my daughter, 7-year-old daughter, or go school by East Legon, Underbridge. So much in the I think said they are coming to build another stretch of the road.
Yeah, they're clearing the place.
Yeah, they're clearing the place to dualize it. It came very upset. So she said Green Ghana, and when I was coming from school, trees have been,
they are browning Ghana, not greening Ghana.
This is the point. So, but we'll investigate.
Okay. So the 10th of June, 3 days from today, what will happen? Then ABC.
So 3 days from today, on the 10th of June, President Akufo-Addo will lead the country to plant 20 million tree seedlings. And President Akufo-Addo will kick off the planting at the Efua Sutherland Park. Efua Sutherland Park is also another baby the capital city Accra. You say a boho buying. Omanpanyi be dua ne de wo honom. Na odua wi a yene Forestry Commission officials ye be dua nua bebre ewo Efua Sutherland Park. The idea is that we should reforest the Efua Sutherland Park. So that is the first thing. The president will lead the nation and will plant the commemorative presidential tree at the Efua Sutherland Park. The vice president will travel to Tamale and plant in Tamale.
Okay.
Speaker of Parliament, second deputy Speaker of Parliament.
First or second?
The first is not also.
Okay, so
the second deputy Speaker of Parliament will lead Parliament to plant at the presence of Parliament.
Okay.
I've got an indication from the Speaker that Parliament will rise on Friday for members of Parliament to travel to their various constituencies to lead their constituents and their constituencies to plant, to engage in this tree planting exercise.
After Friday,
yes, Otumfuo will plant in Kumasi. Ochehine will plant, Yana will plant, Wana will plant, Nairi will plant, the Chief Justice will plant. As I say, we are going to plant in Achimota for the Chief Imam will plant. Various religious leaders are going to lead their churches to plant. All ministers will lead all ministries to plant. All state agencies chief executives and MDs and MMDCs and regional ministers will lead their various enclaves to plant. The chairman general will plant.
Amen.
Yes, the chairman
I'm
general
planting
will
this in
plant.
my house.
Chairman, you plant.
I mean, they're planting in the yard.
And 20 million a day. A biwom. Sebe Ghana Nibia is obedua bakwa. That means we are talking about 20 million Ghanaians planting a tree a day. That would be overly ambitious. So some of us will have to plant more than one. I mean, I hope that on that day I'll plant 100 because I'll plant at Fort Salalam Park. I'll plant with the British High Commissioner in a Chimoncha Forest, and I have to travel to Damongo, my beloved constituency, Damongo, to
go and
plant in Damongo. And let me just conclude by also saying that President J. Kufuor has been very gracious, the good old statesman and grandfather and father of all of us. He's been very gracious and accepted to travel out of Accra to go to Gumua also. President Kufuor is going to go to Gumua with his advanced age and everything. The president is still going to pay his dues and continue to serve his nation by traveling to Gumua to plant. And I'm also very happy, and I should thank President John Dramani Mahama for agreeing to plant a tree on that day. This is a national exercise. This is a Ghana project. This is not an MPP, NDC, CPP, a Christian, Muslim, North, South, young, old project. This is a Ghana project. We are all having to come together to protect the future of future generations, our children and great-grandchildren. So this is really the point.
Samuel Abdullahi Jinapor, MP, Damongo, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. So many messages, but I'll read just one. It's from your own brother and friend, James Kwabena Bonfe, A.K. Kabila. I'll say kudos to my minister and brother. He's given me a reason to entrust the youth with the destiny of Ghana. He is getting the nation into a worthy cause. We must not only plant, but protect the trees as well.
Thank you very much.
Message is not done, but your time, I just read one from Kabila to you. My numbers now for Forestry Commission and the Ministry. I'll come and give out all the numbers you may want to call and get your seedlings. Kaise Minister says seedlings are free. And come moving kokase konakoto seedlings or baby yenton seedlings no. Peace 104.3.